All right, so sometimes as a content creator, you're gonna have bad days. All right, you just gotta stick with it. I'm speaking from personal experience because today was one of those days for me. I just recorded a maybe 12, 13-minute video talking about, you know what, I'm not gonna tell you the subject because we'll probably save that for another video. But yeah, before I went to post it, went back to rewatch it, and my microphone died like 6 minutes in. So yeah, I had to scrap that, start over again. And then by that time, my phone was low on battery. I needed to charge that up. And oh my goodness. And it's just been a few different things after another. And so the process, sometimes it's messy, but you got to just kind of stick with it. And I think with me, as I continue to kind of just chip away, get some momentum, and I mentioned before that, things haven't been flowing very smoothly, but they will as I continue to kind of just work on my refinement process and get better at it. So that's where I'm at right now and what I'm working on. Yeah, it was tough. I started getting discouraged. I'm, you know, recording this in a room that's getting hotter and hotter as the day goes by because the temperature is rising. I've got so many other factors around me that I need the microphone to kind of block out a lot of this background noise that I'm hoping you're not hearing. And so it's been a little bit chaotic, but you got to roll with the punches and you got to just kind of continue to just persevere and continue just to kind of just chip away at it without letting things kind of stop you in your tracks. And I think the old me would have probably just said, "Hey, you know what? We've got some setbacks here. We've got things that aren't kind of working. Let's save this for a different day, and we'll work on it tomorrow." But that's not the mentality that I need right now. I need that go and get it, get after it mentality, which is why I'm here and why I'm doing it. So if I wanted to just tell you a little bit about that subject matter, we were going into a conversation about um, the economy. We were talking about layoffs and the job market, and really how in today's environment it's important to be crafty, to be resilient, but then also you've got to think outside of the box because things are getting really tough. I came across some stories from individuals who had been laid off and had been having real challenges trying to find new work, at least in the similar type industry. And that's kind of what's happening to me right now. I'm in a position where I was laid off earlier this year. I've been looking for work, and the job market is very competitive right now. There's a lot of people that are applying for these jobs. Many of the positions that I see get over 100 applications. And then even the ones that are fewer applications are a little bit more specialized and maybe is just something that I might not be a top candidate. So it's been challenging for sure, and maybe you've seen it before. Not only with just looking and finding roles that might be a good fit, but then when it comes to actually applying, I'm seeing stories in terms of like people wondering, are their resumes actually being read? Are there companies that are using AI readers to skim them and then just select like the top candidates? Which I mean, I don't. It's hard to get mad at that as a somebody who understands how to be efficient in business. You definitely want to use the tools that you have, but as someone on the other side of that, a real life human, I can see how it can be discouraging because I have been discouraged by it. Not just that, but I think that we're living in an AI age where some people will say that they're worried about AI taking their jobs. And I've heard some people that have said that it's not AI that's going to replace you, but it's going to be a human that knows how to use AI better than you that will replace you. And I think there's some truth to that, which is why I'm all about continuing to learn and build skills and develop over time because I mean, for me, I love to learn new stuff. I'm very curious when it comes to new technologies and new processes, just learning how different people do things. So I think that's an important thing to have. But I also think that it's going to get harder and harder to find traditional type employment as things continue to go down the path we're headed on. So this is just another reason why I'm deciding here, and I check my microphone to make sure there's still battery life on this thing. But that's the reason why I'm here doing what I'm doing, because I understand that, my value as a human is going to, maybe actually be more impactful if I can get in front of a camera and talk to people like you that are actually curious about this stuff, interested in this stuff, and wanting to follow along on this journey. So, if you're somebody who has been impacted by a layoff, or is looking to change, change professions, change your career, reinvent yourself, and do something different, I would be interested in hearing about that, because even people I know that are fully employed are looking for some alternatives, because I mean, the employers nowadays are just, it's just getting harder and harder. You know what I mean? They're just adding more and more pressure. Things are getting more expensive, not just for consumers, but for businesses too. And so, there's got to be a breaking point, right? There's got to be some kind of relief or some kind of release. And yeah, whatever that may be, I'm not going to wait around for that to kind of figure itself out, which is why I'm here, taking the steps that I need to take to actually get a channel up and going, figure out the topics I'm going to touch on. And I think right now, you know, um, not just technology, but technology is something I'm interested in. The current environment with the economy, AI, um, so much of this that's happening right now in America. We're heading up to an election soon. Don't really know if I want to touch on politics, but I mean, there's so much change happening right now, and I think it's a pivotal point in our nation and just in our freaking timeline. So let's figure out how we're gonna do it. Hopefully, this actually recorded this video and I can get it posted, and then we'll go ahead and just keep it moving from there. All right, thanks, peace.